I stole this cup. Assalamu alaikum, this is your brother Mohammad Arshad, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you why competition can be amazing for what you want to achieve. So let me start by telling you or showing you why I stole this cup. So let's go to that clip. Are you serious? Like, we go through all this effort to win this stuff and they just leave it here. They just leave it here without any protection. I mean, who kind of does that stuff? Like, who the hell does that stuff? Like, there's nobody here, there's no volunteers, and they just left it here. Like they don't care about it. They don't care about it. Well, I'm taking it. It's all mine now. You see this liwa now belongs to Mohammad Arshad. Okay, it's mine. Taking it. You don't care about it. Look, nobody here. Nobody protecting it, so it's mine. See you later, guys. Okay, so now that you've seen that clip, let me explain to you what this actually is, and the best person to do that is the guy that invented it. So let's check that out. Okay, Sheikh, I have a bit of a surprise, right, for you, and it's like a blast from your past. Okay. So let me show it to you.
Special guest.
Then, yeah, it's a special guest. It's a very special guest, right? And then I'll ask you a question around it. So let me just show you the special guest first. Bismillah. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, so
and I'm asking myself, what is that doing?
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what my wife says as well. So I'll explain. Basically, I stole it. Okay, I stole it. But I want you to
now we know.
Yeah, well, now we know. So, but I just want you to explain, like, what is this and why did you do it? You know.
So the purpose of that's the Liwat cup. So when I was teaching the history of Khulafat class, and I saw that a lot of the companions, when they would fight in these battles, they used to organize themselves according to tribe. So they wouldn't fight as random people, but their brothers and cousins and uncles and stuff like that. A whole tribe would fight together. So if there was ever a part of the army that went down, it was actually a whole tribe of people from a certain city that they're the ones who did it, and they can be held accountable as a tribe. So I said to myself, well, I want to apply this to my students so that instead of everybody coming to the class as individuals, I would like them to have this bond of, build community bonds by giving them a tribal name, so that when I give exams, instead of people, it doesn't matter if I show up to the exam or not, I would give the mark based on the cumulative mark of everybody. So if you decided to not come to the exam, then your tribe, your city of London, for example, would go down. And other cities were like that. That's in the early days of AlMaghrib. It still continues. And alhamdulillah, it took AlMaghrib to another level when everybody kind of started bonding together as tribes. And we initially got some because with tribalism comes jahiliyyah also. And we also experienced this. A lot of students started being mean to other students. They're like tribalism and arrogance. And I'm like, hey, you know what, Prophet ﷺ, there's good in tribalism and there's bad. And yeah. And so the liwa, so here's a side story as well, that initially we wanted to make the cup a flag. And it would have been really scary to have walk in with la 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 type of black flag into like American universities and so, and that was 20 years ago or something. Yeah. And so we tried to get it printed, and the person who wanted to make it, refused to make it. And then we said, hey, instead of this being a flag and freaking people out, let us turn it into a cup. So it became the liwat. Liwat means flag, and it became the liwat flag. If you can lift it up again, sure. I'll show. And you'll see for the people that those are names of tribes that have won the flag over the years. So you'll see year after year the different cities that have won it, and it comes along the lines of the Stanley Cup. In Canada, we love hockey, ice hockey, and the Stanley Cup. And when somebody wins the Stanley Cup, they get their name on the cup. So that's what we did for the liwat cup.
And London won it many times, and London's like the current holder. That's the reason why I stole it, alhamdulillah. Right, so this, as you now know, is the Liwa Cup. And what I want to do is I want to tell you about this, is that in, I think it was 2008, I was invited to Canada. I had just become the Amir for AlMaghrib in London. And I went to Canada, and in Canada, they had this cup there. And this cup was in the hands of Toronto, which was the Qabila, the tribe for AlMaghrib in Toronto. Now this tribe, they had the cup, and they had this massive seminar they were doing. There was about 800 and something people. It's like the biggest seminar they've ever done. And while I'm there, I'm in the audience just visiting from an AlMaghrib perspective to learn how they do big seminars and all this stuff. And the Amir, the head of the tribe, he actually starts talking about London. And when he's talking about London, he's saying, oh, you know what, guys, there's a little rumor going around that there's this tiny city, you know, in this tiny country with their tight roads. And he started smack talking about London, right? He's like, oh, there's some really you know, small streets and all the kind of bad things that you would say about London. And he's like, there's this rumor that these guys are going to be like an amazing city for AlMaghrib. They're going to be an amazing Qabila. And he's like, I don't think they're anything. And obviously I didn't know this before, but he basically started talking on stage and he said, I want to say to the Amir, me, that if you're man enough, come up and like speak to me on stage. So obviously I was a little bit shocked, and I didn't really want to do it because obviously massive crowd, 800 people, I didn't really have much experience of speaking. But I had to represent for London. So I went up there and, you know, he was talking about, we were kind of like smack talking. It was really like in a friendly, nice environment. But at the same time, like he was basically saying that, look, we're the champions, we're the winners, we own this cup and we've won it multiple times, right? And so I basically said to him, I said, listen, like, I'll tell you one thing, that this cup, it belongs to us in London. And you know what? In 1 year's time, I'm going to come and I'm going to collect this cup. So make sure you keep it clean and keep it ready for me, right? So then I kind of went back and I went back home and I came back to my city of London and I started speaking to the team, you know, the AlMaghrib crowd in London. And I was like, listen guys, like that cup, we need to win it because these guys, they talk smack about us. They were really bad and they were this and they were that. And you know what, we have to win that. And it got us kind of motivated that, look, we need to take it to the next level. We need to do whatever we can to make it happen. And so 1 year later, this is what happened.
On behalf of Durban and the United States, congratulations!
I agree with that. US, man! We had it 4 years. That was too, man. What are you talking about?
We don't have much time left and there are a lot of still issues.
So as you saw there, alhamdulillah, Allah gave us victory and a year later we came and collected the cup. Now alhamdulillah, the great thing is that that was the first of many times. I think London has won it many times and it actually has it right now, and that's why I stole it. But the reason why I think it's so cool is because what it did is it took competition and we kind of used that competition for our internal selves, right? So this is something that you can do with your life, with your business, with the kind of things that you want to do, is that fundamentally that if you break it down how we kind of got this happening, is the first thing is that we kind of had a vision. We were like, look, we are here right now, like we're a brand new city in AlMaghrib. We don't really have much experience. We don't really know anything. But you know what? We want to be like this. Like you see these guys in Toronto, Majd, like this Amir, Umar, like the way these guys are, we want to be like that. Like we have a vision of where we kind of want to be, right? So having a vision, that was very important for us. The second thing is that we realized that there was a massive gap. And so for us to get from being a newbie that knows nothing to being like the king of AlMaghrib in terms of cities, you know, we had to do so much work. And so throughout that kind of year, we really pushed hard. We were like, yeah, we want to do more seminars. We want to kind of get our students to do their exams and do all the kind of criteria that will enable us to actually go back and win, right? The third thing I would say is that making that public commitment. Like it was a massive crowd. We had internet forums as well, and it was all over the forums that this guy from London's come and he said, I'm going to come and take the cup in a year's time. So like making a public commitment, like that can put pressure on you as well, because I'm like, man, I just said to these guys I'm going to be back, like we have to win it, you know. And then of course there's things like really important things like rallying your team around the cause, making sure everyone's bought into it, asking Allah for help. So all of these things, if you can do them in your life and you can stay firm to it, because that's one of the biggest things, that it's easy to make that commitment initially, it's easy to kind of have that vision, but to actually stay firm in it, to stay consistent and to do it all the times, that will bring a result like this, inshallah. So Jazakallah khair for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.